There are a couple of things that have been coming up recently in the last week or two with multiple clients and past clients and friends who all identify as having high sensory intelligence or are highly sensitive. And they come in two different flavors, basically, these topics, which might sound unrelated. In my personal experience, they're very closely related, and they both resonate really strongly with me. So I thought that I would talk about them. In one case, there is uh, someone who is very kind and very open and very caring and very generous. And she has been um, experiencing, it's a little bit more than an energy vampire, which is something I can talk about in another video. Somebody who is really just not healthy and is creating a really difficult environment for her. On the other side, there are a couple of amazing leaders I know who have told me that their colleagues see them as aloof or distant or cold or unfriendly. And they know that that isn't who they are. I know that that isn't who they are. And they are showing up that way because they have defense mechanisms in place. I know this very well because this is something that I have done most of my adult life and had to learn to take down and to undo. And the reason that I had to do it in the first place was, and this is something I have not shared with a lot of people, when I was growing up and when I was a young adult, um, I so I'm an empath, and for those of you who don't know what that means, empaths tend to pick up on other people's energy, feelings. They can often sense what's going on with somebody without having to be told. I didn't know that this was something that was not common to everyone for a long time. And I was very open and very trusting and very giving and very generous. And um, would talk to anybody. And as a result, I got bullied. I attracted some energies that were really, really not healthy for me and not healthy in and of themselves. One example is just when I was living in San Francisco after college and I didn't have a car, I took public transit everywhere. It was pretty much guaranteed on 90% of the trips that I took that if there was someone on that bus or train or BART, whatever it was, who was mentally ill, they would find me and they would sit down next to me and they would start telling me their life story, attacking me, harassing me, asking for help, whatever it was that they needed at that moment, it all came out to me. And this wasn't happening to other people on the buses or the trains. It was just happening to me wherever I went. It was incredibly disconcerting. And I ended up building walls, obviously not physical walls, but defense mechanisms to protect myself against this happening. But because I didn't really know what I was doing or have people that I could talk with about this, it was more brute force than art or science. And it ended up turning me into somebody who showed up as cold and aloof and unfriendly, even though that's not who I am or who I was at all. But it was hard to figure out how to not be at one extreme or the other, because I didn't have any help or guidance. Eventually, I learned how to handle things a little bit differently, and I ended up spending a lot of time breaking down those walls and learning how to be vulnerable again. I would love to offer a quick tool for those of you who struggle with this in any way. If you're not familiar with this, it's going to sound a little woo-woo, or it may, maybe not. I'm going to run through a quick version, and if it's something that you're interested in and would like to learn more about, please feel free to reach out. There are a lot of different ways to do this. If you believe in a higher power, source, God, universal love, something that's bigger than us, you can imagine that it comes from this source. If you don't, that's fine too. You're just creating this in and of yourself. I would ask you to imagine a bubble that you create around yourself, around your body, and it's 2 to 3 inches outside of your, outside of your skin. You can play with this. You can move it out. You can make it, you can put it out to a foot or 2 feet or more. Try this if you're in a crowded airport or bar or party where you want a little more space and see what happens. It actually does work. The bubble, the membrane is can be made of anything that you want it to be. It can be any color that you want it to be. It can be any thickness that you want it to be. Some people like sparkles and polka dots. Some people just want transparent. If you have a favorite color, you can make it that color. Sometimes people choose a golden white light or a blue light or a pink light. Those are often thought of as healing energetically, but it can be any color that you choose. And the most important part is the intention that you put into it. You want to make sure as you are creating this in your mind that this membrane this bubble will keep out anything that is harmful or negative or even neutral. Just it will stop those at the bubble and keep them out. It will let in only energies and emotions and intentions that are positive and loving and healing. And this bubble moves with you, it walks with you, it sits with you, it lies down with you. It's there until you don't want it anymore. And again, you can play with the distance, you can play with what it looks like. It's nobody else is going to be able to see it, but they will be able to sense it if you do it with the right intention. So try it. You have nothing to lose. I would love to hear how you get on with it and whether it works for you or not. It does work for me, and it's worked for a number of people that I've taught this tool to. And there are a lot of different versions of it. So if that doesn't work, again, just reach out and I can work with you on something that might be a little bit more robust. The other thing is, if you are highly sensitive, have high sensory intelligence, and are struggling with something, if there's something in your work life or your personal life that you are finding it challenging to navigate given this trait, let me know. I would be happy to either talk with you or record a video or whatever I can do to help. So I would love your feedback on the bubble as a tool for self-defense that allows you to put down some of the other defenses and be yourself a little bit more and let your true personality shine through. Thank you, and I will see you soon.